Intelligent System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You listen to episode 149 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division 2. We're just days away from the Division 2, and this week we're talking about endgame progression. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me, as always, are my co-hosts Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
Hope you boys and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show.
Just a real quick sort of self-indulgent heads up. If any of you would like to support the show in any shape or form, please head over to patreon.com/SITREPRadio. We post bonus stuff from the show over there and also do an additional monthly episode just for our Patreon subscribers, which is Unchained, talking about anything and everything. And if you believe it, we're drunk on that as well.
No.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's pretty much like us off limits, so hope you enjoy.
It's fun. Chain. I do enjoy recording those Patreon episodes, I do have to admit.
Yeah. If you think the randomness on here is bad, Christ. Anyway, the last one we put out over there was pretty good. It was about how we got into gaming. Anyway, enough about that. Before we do head into the news this week, and boy, there's a lot to talk about. Thoughts on the beta, guys. The open beta was last weekend. Did you play any of it at all?
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
All right, okay. To say like none of us was going to play the open beta at all, and then you boys have played it a lot, and then I played it on the Monday night for what, 5-6 hours?
A good 5 hours, yeah. It was into Monday when we turned it off, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we were streaming on Monday nights.
Sorry, into Tuesday when we turned it off, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because I literally got back from Devon, thought the beta was installed. Apparently it wasn't. I had to do it from scratch. And I was like, please install. And it was like 17 hours to go. I was like, oh no, what is going on? But everything worked out in the end. And huge shout out to Petter and the dev team. Thank you very much for the Division host whilst we streamed on Monday night. I had a lot of fun in the open beta. Really, really enjoyed it. I think I said to you guys in chat, I am so on board with the Dark Zone. I had so much fun whilst we played the beta on that Monday night.
That makes me happy.
I'm just saying, I like the Dark Zone in the first place, but it kind of like petered off a little bit towards the end of the life cycle of the Division 1. Obviously, we were playing other PvP games, but definitely for me, the Dark Zone stood out probably more so than when we played the private beta. I don't know if there's more people in there. I don't know, but at one point, it was like us. It felt like it was us versus the rest of the server for some reason. I don't know how the hell that happened, but
it was at one point. A lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely was at one point. That was fun.
Yeah. Any standout moments for you boys?
I like the new map in Skirmish as well. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Although my game kept bugging out every time I tried to play it, but yeah, it was good.
Did you have many issues over the weekend at all? I know there was obviously a huge audio issue that seemed to plague, was it PlayStation 4 players? I'm pretty sure, which is unfortunate, obviously. Hopefully that's fixed for launch next week.
That's what I was going to say, actually. My biggest comment on the open beta was how much stuff they seemed to have fixed from the private. Like, I didn't get a single Delta error. I didn't get any of the memory leak issues that were prevalent in the private beta. I think I only managed to crash the game once, and I personally didn't get any audio issues in this one as well. I know that was, like you said, definitely common on PlayStation 4, and I know there were people moaning in the State of the Game chat that audio issues were still around for them on PC in the open beta, but me personally, I think you two as well, we didn't really get many issues, apart from, like Rob was saying, crashing in conflict. So
yeah,
no, I had...
Yeah, I think I figured out what my problem was, because it was something to do with the software that runs the RGB on my keyboard. I think it was conflicting with the Easy Anti-Cheat, maybe. I'm not sure. But I turned that off and it went away, basically.
Right, cool.
Any noticeable changes that you saw in the beta at all?
The MP7 got a massive boost to its standard magazine size, which made it a lot more appealing to use. I think the shotgun and sniper stagger in PvP was noticeable. Reduction of, sorry. Yeah. Trying to think what other changes. I tell you what, they seem to take away some of the input lag from the menus as well. I don't know whether that was a specific fix or whether it was just that the game's a bit more polished for this version of the beta, but that was very welcome.
The only thing that's still annoying me about that is the fact that you have to double click through the menus. Can you if anyone's listening that can sort out the UI on PC, if we can change it back to what it was in the Division 1, that would be great, because you have to double click and then you're double clicking again to like invite Rob to your party or something, join another teammate. Which I know it's like a quality of life thing, but I think because we're so used to the Division 1 and how that works.
You just get used to it, dude. I don't think they're going to change it. You have to click it. You have to click an extra time. Stop it so goddamn lazy.
I think I've said that in our Discord though. A lot of these things that people are griping about, that because like the menus are different from Division 1 and this is different and that's different.
It's just because it's different.
They're all going to be second nature in a couple of months when we've played it to death, aren't they? So you're going to be able to navigate around the menus with your eyes closed like we do in Division 1. So
yeah, that is a fair point. But I can't believe to say we played those missions. I know you guys have played obviously the alpha. You've played in the private beta, and you played the open. And just like to say you guys played all weekend, then came and played with me on the Monday, and did all the missions again, and you still enjoyed it. That's
me and Luke have probably done over 100 hours in the game. And it's not even out yet.
Because I was lucky enough to get the tech test as well, so it's like the fourth time I've installed the game.
Oh shit, yeah.
That's why I didn't want to play the open beta, and then Ubisoft were like, here, have some shiny shit. I was like, yeah.
You got called out for that for last week's podcast, didn't you?
Yeah.
Our good friend Foxy.
Bloody Eidolon Fox, the tosser. Me talking about not wanting any vanity items, and then obviously wanting a vanity item. It's like, yeah, cheers, dude.
Oh no, wait. It was the vanity items that were tied to the season pass, wasn't it? And you were like, I don't need anything like that. And 2 minutes later, it's like, I want all the shiny.
I'm going to get them. I did all the stuff in the beta, so I'll get all the shiny.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't too fussed, but I was like, well, I've done half of it. Might as well do the rest of it. I mean, definitely not as difficult as running the shields, but still worth it. But I think the only noticeable change that I felt was the NPC TTK was definitely reduced.
Yeah, good
and
point.
I know that was stated on, I think, one of the maintenance. During one of the maintenances over the weekend, they did a dev stream, and I think Thylander was on there basically saying that they'd reduced the TTK to kind of introduce players to the world a little bit better than probably what the TTK will be at launch. Because
that kind of sped up the progress as well, because I pretty much done everything on Friday night, and I was in chat with Luke and Boris, and I kept dying, and it wasn't until the next day I realized why, because I was like, I think they've increased the TTK, like they've made it harder.
Oh right, okay.
But it was
so they actually upped it.
No, it was because the pieces of gear I'd put on left me with no armor or no health. So I was literally a squishy piece of poo. I literally just had DPS and nothing else.
Right, okay. But I think it's safe to say we all enjoyed the open beta over the weekend, and it's not long, boys. It's not long till early access next week. If you obviously have pre-ordered and you... What's that on PC? That's just PC, isn't it, boys? Is it PC?
Mm-hmm.
No, early access for everybody.
Is it early access?
Apply, obviously.
We've talked about it for that long that I've completely forgotten.
Yeah, the official timings are out as well on the Ubisoft support website. When you can play it is part of the FAQs now. It's not definitive. it still says they may change their mind, but it's basically 1 minute past midnight, whatever time zone you're in.
On the 12th.
On the 12th.
Oh, that'll make Boris happy.
Yeah, it did make Boris happy. You saw it in Discord because Tubby, our PlayStation 4 friend, posted it in part of our Discord. And Boris was reading it and losing his mind.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because that is all that people wanted to know on this week's State of the Game was when can we play it? Early access next week.
Oh,
when is it? Like as if that was going to be the only thing they were going to announce.
How many people were in State of the Game? No, it wasn't State of the Game. Sorry, I was watching the dev stream with Thailand. Sorry, ignore me. Carry on.
No, go on. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to moan about how many people were in the chat moaning that the servers were down, asking if it was a maintenance when the title of the dev stream was maintenance. You know, you don't have to be a fucking brain surgeon to figure that one out.
Yeah, but you know what is really... I was going to say, what is really cool with that is the fact that they went out of their way during a maintenance to go, hey, you know, we'll grab someone for the dev team. Whilst you guys are having to sit, you know, on standby whilst we fix problems.
They did it for the whole weekend as well. There's someone always on stream.
I think that's really cool that they've done that.
It was really impressive, actually, that they'd got that much that they knew they could talk about without still spoiling so much. Because they had the dev stream with Thailander, which was all about the weapons and the talents. And then the day after, they had Rasmus on to talk about all the gear.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Thailander again, but he didn't show up.
Right.
And they were panicking. I was watching it. It was quite funny, actually. They had to get stand-in Rasmus.
Oh, makes him sound so second choice.
No, but he did a really good job, though. He knows his shit.
I haven't watched that one yet. I was about 3/4 the way through the Thailander one on VOD and then remembered that I'd not yet watched the State of the Game, so I had to go and watch that before we recorded. Which was great, by the way. State of the Game was excellent this week.
Yes, it was. I will just say very quickly, please go check out the VODs from this weekend with Thailander and Rasmus. They're really, really interesting. It not only tells you kind of like the direction about like the weapons and the choice, it gives you kind of the choices and the reasoning behind why they made those choices in the first place. You know, with weapon mods and specializations and the rest of it. So please go check it out. It's really worth watching or listening if you get a chance. Anyway, as Luke said, there was a State of the Game this week, so let's get down to some news.
State of the Game.
Okay, so huge news on this week's State of the Game as Trick Dempsey, the senior game designer at Massive Entertainment, joined Hamish on stream to basically discuss Endgame progression, boys. Woo! We have some woos.
Woo, 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 woo. Caw.
This was a fucking good dev stream. It really was.
It was. They just didn't stop giving out information the whole way through. It was just solid. Right. Well, how do we do this? And then how do we do that? It was just, it was great.
Yeah, but like, how many times have you kind of like thought, well, we're going to get the campaign, you're going to get to level 30, you get your specialization, and then you're going to go run like a couple of activities and gear up. No, there is a lot more to it this time. From scratch, anyway. You know, you've got world tiers coming back, which we'll talk about. You've got strongholds that are integrated with missions and all the rest of it. And we're going to talk about it today. But did anyone feel like they were just emanating like excitement on the stream? It just kind of really came across how happy they were with the work that had been done, how much content, and they just seemed really excited to share it. And I think that was really, really good.
Yeah. Trick, the dev that was on the State of the Game, he was, you could tell how happy and how proud of his work he was, and obviously the rest of the team as well. You know, I'm saying his work as a collective. Because I mean, to be fair to Hamish and Yannick, they put a good spin on State of the Game every week, and they're always pretty jovial and quite smiley about things, aren't they? But yeah, you could definitely see and hear the pride in Trick's voice when he was talking about like the strongholds and how you get through the different world tiers and this mechanic and that mechanic. And just like to say, if he's listening, he's probably not, but whatever. He did a great job of not giving away any story and lore secrets. Like the bit where he was supposed to say, plot happens, he always remembered. I'd be rubbish at that.
No, he was absolutely amazing. The other thing is, the dude's worked on some freaking games as well.
Yeah.
He worked on Defiance. Well, I can't think of anything else, but I remember he was reeling them off and was like, holy shit, I've played this.
All of Red Dead 1 and started the concepting of Red Dead 2. I remember him saying those two.
Well, for anyone that's played Red Dead, that makes a lot of sense with where we are with the Division 2. Do you know what I mean? That's got some freaking objectives to do in it.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get down to it. So strongholds are going to be a huge thing in the Division 2. But we'll talk about that in a minute, because apparently I've skipped a bit. Apologies. Okay, so boys, you hit level 30. You're done, right? Game over? You've won?
Yep, understood.
Yeah, there's nothing else to do.
Well, if you were playing a different game, that might be the case, but not in the Division 2.
What game are you talking about, Mike?
Name and shame, Mike. Name and shame.
I'm not saying anything. I was just saying generally across any games, once you finish the game, it's normally done, right? Depending, obviously, what game you're playing. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, you're going to obviously complete the campaign, complete a load of missions, and you're going to get strongholds, which will only become available to you at level 30. Once that's...
No, that's not true.
Well, sorry. They'll be available during the game through the campaign, but the special ones that lead to the next bit are unlocked at level 30. Is that better, Rob?
Yeah. I feel like you don't understand what the strongholds were used for, like during the leveling up.
Yeah, they're the gateway to the next world tier.
No. Originally, you play the strongholds when they're occupied by their original factions.
Factions, yeah, and then they're
during
invaded.
1 to 30, and then once you get to level 30, then they're invaded, and then, yeah. You didn't explain the first bit.
So a stronghold, when you're leveling up to level 30, is basically like a faction's home, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then when you hit level 30 and you start working towards the world tiers, that's when the strongholds become, like Mike said, they're like an invaded, occupied version of what they formerly were, which make them almost like a boss mission or a mini incursion, maybe?
A mini strike.
Theorize, yeah. Which is, they're just harder versions of what you've already played, but obviously a lot more NPCs and AI involved.
Yeah, they're going to be ramped up versions of the ones that you played during the campaign. But they're going to be completely different because, I mean, for anyone that's played the open beta, you know what, is it the Jefferson mission? You play it through once and then you play it at Endgame. So you play it with the faction it's supposed to have, and then you have the invaded one with the Black Tusks during. So that's pretty much the idea. The other thing is you're going to get a couple of missions that are going to kind of coincide with Stronghold. They need to actually be completed before you take on the Stronghold at Endgame. Now, the whole point in the Strongholds is during world tiers, they're required to unlock the next world tier, aren't they, Robert?
Yes. And
right.
you can pick whatever one you want, right?
Yeah, that is really cool that you're not kind of forced into doing set content, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so the way I understood this bit was for World Tiers 1, 2, and 3, when you first look to get into World Tier 1, and the gear score that Trick mentioned for that was 275, you will get a choice of 3 strongholds. Each stronghold is tied to 2 missions that you have to do first before you can unlock that stronghold. And upon completing that stronghold, you move on to the next world tier. How I understood that was, obviously, those 3 world tiers, you can choose one of those strongholds each time. So going into World Tier 1, you'll have a choice of 3. Obviously, then you tick one of those off, so you're left with 2 left to do the next time. And then the next time when you're up to World Tier 3, there'll probably be 1 left because you've obviously already done the previous 2. And then it's a different mechanic for 4 and 5.
Do you reckon there's going to be a good order to do them in and a bad order to do them in?
Yes. And I can guarantee you I will do it the wrong way around.
It's a guarantee we're probably all going to do them the wrong way around.
Well, there's 3 of us, right? So we should all choose a different one to do first.
That's not a bad shout. That'd be interesting. But yeah, World Tier 1, so the maximum gear score for World Tier 1 is 300. So to get to World Tier 2, bear in mind that you have to at least have a gear score of 275 to unlock at least one of the strongholds and complete that before it scales up to the next World Tier. Are we going to have to get to the max gear score? Or is it literally just a case of... maybe I missed this bit. I was listening to... Unfortunately, I was listening to the state of the game whilst I was driving somewhere. My signal kept cutting out. Do we have to get to the maximum gear score and complete the stronghold? Or is it just based on the stronghold completion?
It's just stronghold completion. But getting to the maximum would obviously make it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assume, obviously, like other games, the higher your gear score, the easier that content is going to be, in theory.
Yeah. That's the way I understood what Hamish and Trick were talking about, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, World Tier 2, the maximum gear score for that is 350. World Tier 3 is 400, and World Tier 4 is 450. So to access World Tier 4, you basically have to get to a minimum of 375 to do the stronghold to access World Tier 4.
Cool.
That's a lot higher than the gear score that we have in the Division 1. I wonder how far they can actually take these gear scores. And that's only World Tier 4, Rob. That's not talking about World Tier 5. So
I know.
What do we reckon? World Tier... Sorry, Rob. Go on.
World Tier 5 is going to be locked, isn't it? Until... I know we're probably going to talk about this later, but...
Well, we can talk about it now.
It's locked behind the first DLC, right?
Tidal Basin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you'll see it on the map, as far as I'm aware, once you enter World Tier 4, but we're not going to gain access to that until after the launch of the Division 2. But it's shortly after, they have said. How do you guys feel about the fact that we're not going to officially be able to get to Endgame World Tier 5?
I don't think it's going to matter that much because of everything in World Tier, because of everything you can do in World Tier 4.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to get bored.
No, we're not going to get
so much to do. They just kept reeling shit off. Oh my god,
Rob, I'm afraid you're going to have to say goodbye to your family now because you need to make some free time.
It's stupendously content rich, isn't it? This game at launch, and like Rob's already said, you're getting the first, you're getting the World Tier 5 unlock pretty quick, which comes with the Tidal Basin DLC, so that's extra content, and I really don't know how we're going to get there with all the shit we've got to do. I mean, yeah, all right, you're doing the shit to get the loot to get to the better world tiers, but I can guarantee we're all going to be just running around, just looking left and right, thinking, "Ooh, squirrel! Ooh, squirrel!"
I'm not going to be able to get there because I'm literally going to end up doing that and not getting anywhere. I guarantee that now.
But like 3 days in, Mike, what level are you? 5.
I was just like chasing this raccoon for like 4 hours.
Every level you're making a build as well.
Yeah,
to progress. That's going to be a hard thing to do as well, because if we're going to be stuck at World Tier 4, we're going to, knowing what we're like, we will be min-maxing our World Tier 4 gear as hard as we can.
You might have to if that Tidal Basin's as hard as what and then Yannick was talking about on last week's State of the Game.
Well, I guess because of the new system, we'll be able to take a lot of that gear with us, while some of the perks and stuff with us. So yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah. Can I just go to sleep until Tuesday?
No, Monday.
Just hibernate.
You can take some pills for that.
Play it a minute past midnight on Monday night. So Tuesday morning. What time are we going to bed on Tuesday then, guys? Bearing in mind we've all got to be at work. I say all of us because one of us has applied to work from home.
Oh.
Look, let's be honest. If he didn't apply to work from home, he'd called in sick. That's fine.
If I haven't actually had it approved yet, but if I do, I'll be playing at 12 o'clock for sure.
I'm just starting to get a bit of a cough, actually.
This is the bit where I pull forward my week's holiday.
No, I'm still sticking to 18th onwards off, just in case there's any launch day issues, which I genuinely hope there aren't. But
No.
Anyway, back on script.
Agree. Back on track. Track. Okay, so obviously the big thing is going to be progressing through the world tiers, but there's other stuff to do once you've unlocked those world tiers. So once you enter world tiers 1 to 3, obviously you've talked about strongholds, but you're also going to have the snitch and the deck of 52 active and available for you to chase.
52 sounds so cool.
This does sound incredible.
Okay, does one of you want to talk about it then?
Do you want it, Rob, or do you want me to do
Yeah,
it?
no. So each faction has their own suit. There's 52 named bosses. I think that's what, 12 per suit?
13.
13, sorry, yeah, 13. Can't count. And when you kill them, you pick up their card, basically. So you're collecting a deck of 52. Yeah, and you won't see them again until you've done the whole 52, which is just awesome. And they spawn randomly. That's pretty much it. But it's just, yeah, sounds awesome.
I do like how they described it on the state of the game, which was basically like, you're going to meet a guy called the Snitch, who's basically going to hand you out a contract because he knows who to kill. Just some random guy knows who you should be basically going to kill. I thought that was quite cool. But yeah, deck of 52. That is pretty much like the named bosses we get in the Division 1, but by the sounds of it, ramped up a hell of a lot more.
It's the boss run on steroids, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to say this though. I'm fucking glad they haven't tied it to side missions, intel, and all the rest of it in one area before a named boss spawns, because that fucking sucks. Not that I would know.
They also said that the rules of each suit are obviously going to be a lot stronger than like the 1s, 2s, and 3s. So that's obviously it's going to get
that makes sense
as you kill them.
That's cool. Did they? I might be wrong or remembering wrong or just generally making shit up. But did they say that once you've completed a suit within the 52, so once you've killed like the 13 hearts, let's say, you get quite a lot of rewards for finishing that, or was it when you finished all 52 you get some special rewards?
I don't think they said that, but I know they said that
you are rewarded.
Yeah,
right.
Quite well.
Okay. You are definitely rewarded. But not only that, maybe it was mentioned earlier, I don't know, commendations. You're getting commendations for chasing these. So commendations are in this game from day one.
That made me happy, yeah, because they'd not officially mentioned commendations before, had they? I don't know whether Trick was supposed to mention commendations or not, but he did say that commendations were tied to the bosses of the deck of 52. So, makes sense that commendations would be tied to other stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm going to be chasing any in the Division 2. Because,
yes, you will.
Like, screw that shield. No, actually, I said this before. I will take your advice.
Do your commendations early.
Everything this time round.
Because they'll be tied to Division 3.
At some point. Yeah, they will be. You're goddamn right. Okay, so that is awesome. Named bosses are basically making a comeback. Next up, the Gunrunner will be making its way to the Division 2. Yes, Roberts, Zur. So this person is Cassie Mendoza, a roaming random spawn vendor that is basically going to turn up. Now, I'm seeing conflicting reports of this. I thought it was every week, but I'm seeing it being stated as every day.
Right. What Trick said was Cassie Mendoza.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, Cassie Mendoza will spawn every day and a half. And it will be a different location every time she spawns. But even if you get on Reddit and they tell you what today's spawn location is, you won't be able to find her on your map until you've visited the Snitch and he's actually told you where she is. So she'll be there, but your map won't show her till you've been to see the Snitch again, who's the same guy with the deck of 52 that we've just been talking about.
Yeah, and the reason... Sorry.
Go on.
And the reason why it's a day and a half is so she cycles through all the time zones.
Yeah, which is brilliant. Because then, one time she might spawn with all the good stuff and we'll be asleep. And then the next time she spawns, Australia will be asleep and then at work and whatever. So they might miss her for a week. So yeah, she spawns every day and a half, but it's the loot that changes every week from what Trick was saying.
And she has an exotic.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Her stuff is quite valuable, apparently. So exotics, or named weapons as they're called, and high-level gear. But it's always going to be scaled to the current world tier that you're in. So
I take it we're going to be able to buy that stuff to get through the world tiers.
Yeah, so even at world tier 1, it's going to be worth locating the snitch in Casa Mendoza, because then you can get better gear to help you towards world tier 2, so on and so forth. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder what currency she takes. Strange coins, Mike?
I don't know what you're on about.
Oh, come on.
Was it the 3 of coins?
No.
That's a different thing. Anyway. Maybe it's Anthem credits.
Shards? Shards? Are you sure they're called shards?
Whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know.
I hate you both right now.
This is fucking cool, to be honest. The fact that they've basically brought Xur into the game
and made him better.
Well, I said to a friend today, I was like, they've basically brought Xur into the Division 2, and they've called him Rux. What? And he was like, they've actually called him Rux because that's Xur backwards. Like, no.
But she's called Cassie.
No, but to someone that doesn't know that.
Oh, right, okay.
I just thought it was quite funny. Brad
they kind of got to be careful. They might get sued by Bungie.
Nah.
She's called Cassie. It's fine. She's a gun runner. She's not an agent of the 9.
The Division 2's got like all its content there day one. Hasn't Destiny just got there about now?
Xur's kind of useless at the moment. Pretty sure.
Well,
how would you know? When was the last time you played Destiny?
That's a very good point.
Shh. He's been trying to keep it a secret. But yeah, Luke, what do you reckon?
Love it. I think the Deck of 52 is a fantastic idea, and bringing Rux into the game is also a great idea.
Rux.
Yeah. I do like that idea. I really do. I don't know how quickly she's going to get to be useless, like within the progressions. Basically, what happens to Casa Mendoza when we hit level World Tier 5? Does she then become useless, or is there going to be special versions of weapons that only she will sell? The
thing is, it will happen. I mean, going off Destiny, like, Xur turns up once a week, and it may or may not have that sweet weapon that you've been chasing, or you've already had it drop. So if that's going to be the case, it's going to happen one week. Maybe the meta will change, and you want a different weapon, and it'll be there the following
She won't
week.
become redundant because they said they were going to add named weapons through the course of the year.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be something new that she might sell as well.
Yeah. Plus, obviously, the exotic weapons, we're going to get a few at the start, and they're also going to be added through the course of the first year of the division. So I suppose they're going to be added to Cassie's inventory as well. Okay, so moving on. When you hit World Tier 4, a pretty cool thing called the Priority Target Network is available to you. Woo?
Woo! Woo! The car!
Okay, so these are basically a tiered system of bounties inside of different zones in Washington that are going to scale in difficulty as you progress through them. And, they can have the similar difficulties to what we know in the Division 1. You can have hard all the way up to heroic. That sound pretty cool to you, boys?
And once you hit World Tier 4, don't you unlock redoing the missions on challenging as well? Am I right in saying that? Did they say that? Did I dream it?
I think so.
No, I think you're right, actually, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, no, it almost certainly was that, because they didn't really talk about World Tier 5, did they? They basically said World Tier 5's a secret and moved on.
Yeah.
So it must have been World Tier 4, yeah. Which I guess would make sense, because then, if we take that progression, World Tier 5, you'll then potentially be able to unlock them in heroic mode. So, just thinking out loud, I guess. But.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember, how was it we had to earn target intel? Can you remember?
That was from, you get it from missions and the strongholds, you get quite a lot, and you get the odd little drop from NPCs.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because that's obviously tied to redoing the missions again. It's more incentive to redo the missions, because it's quite cool, because they're kind of tying a load of things together where, you go run a mission, you're going to want the loot from it, but you're also getting intel to go do something else as well, without actually having to do that whole thing of doing what we did in the Division 1, which was search and destroy to then go do the HVTs to get additional loot and all the rest of it. But also, bounties, they're going to be available during the main game, but they're going to be stepped up a little bit at Endgame, I believe. These are basically a new iteration of the HVT system that we had in the Division 1. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know what you thought about the daily and weekly challenges that you're going to be set when they discussed that on the State of the Game this week.
I remember that bit.
Where they were basically on about there's a whole management system built in. There's like 75,000 different variations depending for one of the challenges, or I can't remember what it was. Assignments.
Right.
Do you not remember?
No.
Luke? Is this where I'm out there on my own?
Did you dream it?
Are you talking about bounties still, or have you moved on to projects?
It might have been projects. I couldn't remember if the two were tied together or not.
No, the bounties were basically your HVTs. But then,
but they're a step up.
But the step up when you reach World Tier 4 is the priority target network that you mentioned, where basically you might find, like in Division 1, where you got a couple of lieutenants and then you got the boss. The example they showed on the State of the Game stream was you got a couple of bosses that were essentially lieutenants. You had to kill those separately first, and then you got the priority target, which on the example that they showed was actually two bosses together from the same faction. But you couldn't access that one until you'd killed the two targets first. Basically, they gave you access to that then priority target.
Like killing their lieutenants, and then you get to
Exactly. Yeah. The projects were basically the new and improved version of the assignments. That were part of the division from 1.2 onwards, I think. I can't remember, but they weren't there at launch, but they were pretty early.
Like I said, my stream was cutting out, so I didn't know if I couldn't remember if the two were tied together or not. But I think one of the cool things that they've added with regards to like the bounty system is the fact that you're going to be able to retain any bounties that you fail in order to basically give you a chance to redo it. So I'm guessing you're not going to have to use target intel again to redo those. But the downside is it's going to relocate, and it's basically going to bring in fresh help to,
That's fine. It's a nice trade-off, isn't it? If you fail and then you get to try again for free, you have to try again from the start, basically.
Yeah, but it's not just a start now. It's going to be somewhere completely different. But they're kind of like, you get a chance to start again somewhere else, but we're going to bring even more friends this time. So it's kind of like you get another chance, but then it's ramped up slightly, maybe.
Oh, right. So if you fail it the first time, it actually gets harder the second time. I missed that bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And also, you get the amount of loot, by the sounds of it, that you're going to have drop off these bounties and priority target network is going to be pretty insane. From what they were talking about in the State of the Game, like these are either going to be quite brutal and stupidly rewarding if you complete them.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Obviously, back to projects. I'm so on board with what they said. Honestly, I'm so on board with the fact that we're not going to be playing the same missions on repeat every other week, every other month, or whatever. The amount of variation that is going to be there is absolutely insane. And the fact that they've got like a whole manager system, so it's not like completely random tasks, it's to do with, what was it, the faction. So it all kind of actually makes logical sense, not just random stuff.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of projects that are actually live in the open beta, like the settlements would need 50 bottles of water and so much food and whatever, and then you'd have to give them, I'm trying to think of one example that I did. It's like two different pairs of gloves or something that they needed, and then it would unlock. It actually unlocked a bounty on one of the projects in the open beta, if I remember right, Rob. Maybe even two, I think. So basically, like all the stuff that you can loot when you're just walking around the world, exploring the map, from the little backpacks that are lying around and the little loot crates and stuff where you get a teddy bear and a necklace and a pair of socks and all that sort of stuff. The settlements are going to want these eventually. So yeah, that's what the projects are, and obviously you get loot for that. And then, like I say, if you unlock a bounty within a project, there's loot from that as well. Rewards vary from mods and crafting materials, blueprints, that sort of thing. So yeah, they do sound cool. They're like little mini side missions, aren't they? They're like I said before, they're the ramped up version of the assignments that were in Division 1. So,
but you're also obviously going to get the return of like the normal ones you would expect, which is like the required completion of hard and challenging missions on top of that, which you would see not like in the Division 1 and other games as well as standard. So it's kind of cool that you've got a huge variation from stuff like settlement, HVT style, and then it'd be like go kill a load of enemies. And yeah, it just, when they were talking about all the stuff that we're going to do, I know when we've kind of discussed it in the past, I've kind of thought we're going to be in the DZ most of the time, but maybe this will actually flip it over completely where we're actually more PvE. I know that's a tough question, but
how dare you?
It could happen. If they're really making it that viable and meaningful to be in the open world, which is reading everything that we've got and everything they've talked about on the state of the game, it really kind of hits home.
Yeah, no, I was joking. I think the way I played Division 1 was like back in the early days was Division 1. It was more rewarding to be in the Dark Zone, getting your loot out from there. And then they flipped it a bit. But by then, most people had already got into the habit of being in the Dark Zone. They knew exactly where all the bosses were for the landmarks. So it was just, to people like me, it was easier to go and farm the Dark Zone than it was to try and remember where all the open world bosses were. This time around, I don't think it's going to be that way. Yes, you're going to get rewarded for the Dark Zone, don't get me wrong, but they're, like we've already said, there's now 3 Dark Zones and they're a lot smaller, so there's not as many landmarks to clear in each Dark Zone. So, you've got projects, you've got bounties, you've got the high priority networks to do, you've got missions to replay, you've got the strongholds to redo, you've got your weekly assignments to do. There's going to be so much to do outside of the Dark Zone to get loot from. And then,
that's not even it. That's not just it, though, because of the open world with Washington, D.C. as well, which is therefore took over by the Black Tusk. And then you've got like a whole faction war going on at the same time.
Yep.
Like you've got to take back the settlements because they're blockaded and you can't fast travel to them. That's a fucking cool addition. You've got control points which have been took over and you've got to take back as well.
That's it, the control points. I was going to talk about that. If you leave the control point and target everything around them, the more you do, the harder that control point gets because they get like alerted and it steps up a tier. So if you do everything, it basically makes that
control point heroic,
which means the loot inside it is heroic tiered.
I remember this from the stream because that's where you gain access to the what were they called in the beta? It's basically the loot cave that you get for doing
this. Yeah. It's the big orange crate. They said the more you let the NPCs come back, the more stacked that orange crate will be because you got a weapons crate, an orange crate, and then a couple of little materials boxes to open, didn't you? Inside that loot cave or whatever. I can't remember what the fuck they get called now. It gets a number on it, and then the higher that number is, because they get alerted if you're doing stuff close, like the propaganda stuff and all that. It's awesome.
I like that.
So you can like that would take it like a while, no? Prepping control point and then taking it.
They've really thought about what they're doing this time, haven't they? They've really thought about what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, there's a control point, you can take a bunch of NPCs down. It's like, nah, fuck that. You know, you can raise, you know, the NPC's awareness before you even get to it and piss them off even more, and then try and take them down. What happens if you fail, though? Does it remain at like the highest awareness?
Yeah, does you? I imagine it has like a reset
until you take it down. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. I don't know how we're gonna have time to play all this.
So sorry.
No,
do you think the map's gonna reset every week? Do you think we're gonna have to do the whole map every week?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Shit,
that would be cool if it did.
Or if it's a slow progression thing.
I would err on the side of a slow progression thing. Can you imagine?
How would they govern that though?
Can you imagine loading back in though after maintenance and literally your whole map just lights up? You go. What would you do first
if it all goes red again?
I don't know. Do you not think people would be pissed off if the whole lot was red every single week?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you spent
I think they'd have to be careful with that. To be fair,
I don't know how it works. I mean, are you assigned a server? Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. How do they govern that? How do they like? Is there a time limit of them coming back, or is it just random? They just decided to take over that area, and you lose it like the day after or something.
It's kind of really interesting because like if you're a PvP player and you just play PvP, that means
your map's just going to be red. But then you can
red constantly.
You can just fast travel to the dark zones anyway, so it doesn't really affect.
Well, yeah. No, but
you can guarantee after 3 years most people's maps are going to be red. Just be like, fuck this. Taking this fucking stronghold back 15 million times already.
I've done a speed challenge on it 12 times. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Man,
there's
a lot.
I physically can't wait for it to be Tuesday already. Like, after watching the dev streams and the state of the games and playing all the different versions of the beta and stuff, the more you learn, the more I just want to get my hands on it and just fucking get stuck in. Do you know what I mean?
I just don't think it's sunk in yet.
Oh,
you're not going to be tempted to stay up on Monday night.
Yeah, I'm going to be staying up on Monday night.
I'm playing it for like a couple of hours.
I guarantee you it's going to be a 2 a.m. bedtime, yeah, and then I'm just going to be wrecked for work the next day. But fuck it, YOLO, right?
You do that, and I'll be up bright and early, so... oh, no, shit. Oh, no, we're good. We're good.
Or all-nighter. Just saying.
I can't go to work.
I'm down. If I get work from home.
Dude, it's one day. You could get away with one day with doing very little at work because you've got matchsticks under your eyelids.
I don't think I could.
I'm going to try it.
But yeah, I don't think it's sunk in yet. But
dude, let it sink in, dude. It's Tuesday.
How many people do you think upped their pre-order after the state of the game? Or even pre-ordered after the state of the game?
I don't know about after the state of the game. I reckon there would have been quite a few after the open beta. I really do.
Yeah, it's just I remember seeing there was a thread on Reddit where there's a load of people going, well, I've just upped mine from the standard edition to the gold edition or something like that. And I'm just like, maybe that's why they did it. Like being so open, which I love the fact that they're doing. You know, this day and age where like some studios are just not open to giving out information of what your content is literally until like the day before. You can't do that anymore. Like people want to invest time in your game, and they're doing a really good job of showcasing it.
I'll be honest, if it wasn't for the Dark Zone statue that you get with the DZ edition, I probably would have upped my pre-order as well. To say, just to the Ultimate Edition. Like if they took statues,
you mean the one I got? Okay.
Yeah, if they took statues out, because we saw the Ultimate Edition statue at Gamescom, didn't we? The one you can actually move the arms and stuff around, the articulated one. If you took the statues out and I could purchase the Dark Zone statue separate, I would go for the most expensive version of the game for 2 reasons. 1, give me all the things, and 2, here you go, Massive. Here's a bit more of my money. Fucking awesome job, guys.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people going, I've put faith in upping my pre-order with the amount of content they showed us, but not only that, the amount of updates and how much they stuck by the first game, no matter how bad it was, and for them to do that, and just to see other people communicating on that fact as well, and kind of
the fact that they paused content to fix the first game. If, and I'm not saying it will happen, but if the second game comes out and it's a hot mess too, they'll fix it. The track record is that they will fix it and make it 1,000,000 times better than it was. And the fact that you've got a fuck ton of content to do this time around just makes me think that even if stuff goes wrong, and I'm not saying it will, it might launch absolutely perfect because the betas have got better every time we've had a chance to play it. So they're obviously fixing stuff. So if this launches brilliant, you just know there's going to be other content hidden away that they're working on now that they're perhaps not releasing for another 12 months, 18 months.
I hope that is the case, but I will say now that I know it sounds harsh, but there's no way this game is going to launch absolutely perfect. It does not work in this day and age of gaming, unfortunately, especially with a game this big and complex and everything moving. But I think for sure it's definitely going to be in a better state than anything we've seen release in the last 6 months. Similar to this. Sorry, Rob. It sounds like you're ill. It sounds like you might have to have next week off.
Yeah, the week after, dude.
How many updates?
Sorry, the week after.
How many updates have you had to sit waiting to install on Anthem in the 3 weeks it's been out? I think
2,
3, soon to be 4.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well with it.
I mean, yeah, that's great that they're fixing it that quickly.
Yeah.
Hats off to them, but yeah. Try harder, guys.
You say smiling.
Well,
But to be fair, you're raising the point about the Division launch and being better than the other ones. Julian and Garrity, I'm pretty sure kind of went out on a limb and said, hopefully going to be one of the better ones. They can't promise it.
I think they will be
perfect, but
I've got a lot of faith in them this time. Like I say, going from the redacted to the closed to the open, the changes that they've implemented just in that short space of time, and we already know because they've admitted it that the open beta is an older build,
not the final build. Yeah,
an older build, and obviously clearly not the final build. I struggle to think of what would be broken, like to the point where it was unusable broken of a specific piece of content, not the whole game.
I think that is definitely a good point. Like, I don't think the game's going to be bust at all. I think you can have a few bugs. I think you might have a few minor issues.
Of course, yeah. It's still a complicated game at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think, they fixed the Delta issues. Some people still going to be seeing Delta issues? Probably. But they're not going to be able to catch everything for that small, minute player base. Should they? Yes. I'm sure they'll be working to fix that. That's all they can do at the end of the day. You don't know what it's going to be like till it goes live. I can imagine it's an absolute shit show.
I'm sure you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, but the ambiguous nature of the fact that the errors are called Delta errors and Mike errors and all that sort of stuff. And this is a brand new game that's launching that set new records for pre-orders, set new records for beta sign-ups, etc., etc. Therefore, there's clearly going to be a fuck ton of people that want to play it at the same time on the same day. People are going
1 minute past 12.
1 minute past 12, Tuesday the 12th of March. People are going to get errors because servers are going to crash because too many people are going to want to play it at once.
Is it 12 o'clock per your time zone?
I believe so, yes.
So it's going to be
it kind of be staggered.
It's going to be gradual, but there's going to reach a bottleneck at some point in there where there's going to be not enough spaces for too many people trying to get on at once.
But bear in mind, it's per time zone. It's not like UK, Germany, and then France. It's Europe.
I know.
The Americas.
So you've got
the rest of it.
You've got Europe that will be on an hour before us. That's still a lot of people.
Are we not classed with Europe from the infographic that they put out for the
It's per
open
your
beta
time
launch
zone.
times?
Yeah,
Not the whole of Europe are in the same time zone, guys.
No, not all of Europe, but a lot of Europe is.
Like there's Central European time, Western,
Yes.
Eastern, and then there's GMT.
I know, because
At least that's 4 separate hours right there.
All I know is that I'm pretty sure we were chucked in with the open beta for Europe, and it was 10 a.m. CET. So therefore, we were supposed to get the open beta launch at 9 p.m.
The guys in Australia
9
would have
a.m.,
already
sorry.
been playing the game for 8 hours by the time we get on.
Yeah,
Maybe even longer than that.
those motherfuckers living in the future.
I don't know,
yeah. I
man.
saw Wilco going on about that earlier. It's like, yeah, we get to play the division first.
That's fine.
And
Aussie
they'll be
servers are
they'll
shit.
be in
They'll
bed
still
by
be
the
trying to
time
log on.
while we log on.
Yeah, it's fine. They got to poke that potato, right? Anyway, yeah, a lot of news. We're pretty excited for next week.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Right, let's get down to some questions. Speaking of Wilco, Locked On Wilco today asks, guys, what are you drinking to celebrate the launch of the Division 2?
Red
By
Bull.
the sounds of it, Red Bull and any caffeinated substances.
All
Irish-
the energy
Irish
drinks so
coffees.
that I can stay awake till 4 a.m.
The day after launch.
Nah, fuck it. I'm going to be there 1 minute past midnight, Tuesday morning.
No, that's what I meant. Like, you'd be there at that time and you'd still be going at 4 a.m. the next night.
Yeah, 'cause I drank too many Red Bulls. Just buzzing like, still Tuesday, right, guys? Yeah.
If I don't go to sleep, it's still Tuesday, right? So, Rob, can you drink Red Bull?
Yeah, I can. Remember Gamescom did? I went a little bit crazy.
Oh, dude. Yes. I think I actually have footage of that somewhere. I've got to sort that video out.
I'd love to get some of that. What was it?
Tropical one.
No,
The berry one.
The berry one, Acacia Berry or whatever it was called from Gamescom. That shit was lush. I haven't seen that in the shops anyway
It doesn't
yet.
taste the same in this country. Oh, I know. I bought the tropical one again, but it was sugar-free and it tastes like ass.
That's
Less
why
sugar.
it's sugar-free.
Yeah.
Fuck are you doing, dude?
It's the only one they had. I was like,
Yeah, skip
tastes
that.
good.
Oh, was
Still
that
has
when
a
I
shit
necked
ton of
that
caffeine.
Relentless before we went and did bingo?
Yeah.
That's a story for a different time. Anyway, Quinch today. Oh no, I'm saying Quinch today. It's not that. It's the fact that somehow the fucking notes have pushed up together. Quinch says, what do you think of the Amazon Echo and Facebook game tie-ins?
What's the Facebook game tie-in? No one's explained this to me, and it looks like there's an infographic where we actually get in-game loot from it. Someone explain it to me, please, now.
Right, okay, so for those of you that don't know, the Division and Facebook have kind of grouped up, and there's a Facebook Messenger app that you can load, and you have
What?
access to Echoes. I did send you the link, but stuff I
But
sent
how
to
do
you
I tie it
guys,
to my Ubisoft account so I can get this loot?
I don't know because I haven't got that far, but I've been mucking around, and basically you can think of it like Pokemon Go, but on your phone, but with Echoes on the move.
Yeah, that.
Yes. And you could basically have like augmented reality echoes in your living room through the use
I
of your
found one
phone.
on my bedroom floor earlier.
What do you mean you found one, but you say you never used it before?
Yeah, but I don't understand how I get this loot. That's what I just did that, and then I don't know what to do.
Well, you have to keep playing around with it.
The Amazon Echo thing we listened to before the show, and it's brilliant.
Fucking awesome.
If you like
Really,
more,
really
go
good.
and listen to it.
Yes, please do. Luke, what did you reckon of the Amazon Echo stuff? I know you kind of dropped in halfway through that.
They sounded pretty decent, actually. Yeah. I need to invest. The Facebook game stuff, I didn't understand. That went totally over my head, but I'll have to play around with that over the weekend.
I think it was more the case that we just haven't had a chance to actually muck around with either of that properly. Well, we did the Amazon Echo, so that was good.
They sounded brilliant, yeah.
It's
lot of lore
what's
involved in those,
what's
I think.
The computer system.
Isaac.
It's like he takes over Alexa, like at the beginning, and then gives it back at the end. It's awesome.
And then Alexa's like, "What the fuck?
She has
I don't know what happened
what's
there."
happened. Yeah, stupid bitch.
That's his podcast's quote. Stupid bitch, Alex. Fucking hell.
Well, I told her to fuck off. She didn't know what I said.
No, she started asking you questions.
Yeah.
Do you want to know more about the
just
Division
repeated
game?
the question. I told her to fuck off.
Great work by the advertising team, though, right? Amazon
Yeah.
Echo, Facebook Games. You got. I've seen the proper advert for the game on TV quite a lot.
Oh,
over
it's
the
in the
last 3 or 4
cinemas as well.
Last
So
3 or
for
4
anybody
days,
going to
especially
see-
like watching the Man United game last night, the European Champions League game against PSG. There was an advert in the middle of that. There must have been millions and millions of people watching that football game last night because it was quite important. I know you two don't give a fuck about football.
No,
But
I watched
that was
it.
football.
Quite an
It's a great
important. What was the score then, Rob?
12.
I didn't catch the end.
12. All right. Well, there was a goal. How much of the game did you watch?
I watched up until the last 90 minutes.
Okay. There was a goal in the first minute. Who scored it?
Hey?
There was a
How
goal in
many
the first
balls were
minute.
on
Who
the
scored
pitch?
Oh, that guy. He's got the funny hair.
it? You're such a cunt.
I'm right there, right?
No, you're wrong. You're totally wrong.
I was close. Almost
You haven't even been
bullshitted my way
drinking
out of that.
tonight either. I don't think you had a hope in hell there.
See, I've been friends with you guys too long because I knew Rob was bullshitting just by the look on his face.
Audio medium, dude.
Yeah, but I can see your face.
Yeah, true.
I've just told the listeners I can see your face.
What about now? Anyway, yeah, like the amount of marketing push that they're putting behind this is kind of insane. I think for anyone that's going to go check out Captain Marvel, it's on the trailers before that as well, so you can go check it out on the big screen.
That would not have been cheap either.
No. Next question comes from Whistler, who says there seems to be a pretty strong hint that Survival might come to the Division 2. What do you guys think that might look like, and what improvements could be made? For anybody who hasn't had a chance, go check out Bombshell Jackets. I think they talked to Julian Garrity. I could be wrong, but I think they discussed Survival very briefly with him. I don't know if you guys...
Did he give
No.
any answers?
I saw an answer on Twitter that was something along the lines of, I haven't had a chance to listen to the second part yet, but it was something along the lines of they thought they could do Survival bigger and better. Whether I'm paraphrasing that right or not, I don't know. Go check out the episode anyway. It's first episode's full of division lore and all the rest of it, and they're good friends of ours, so go check it out. But getting back to the question, what do you think that might look like, and what improvements could be made, boys?
I don't know. It's a good question, but like, I wouldn't like to speculate. I kind of wouldn't. I would just want to wait and see. But I definitely think I definitely don't think we'll get it until year 2.
No, it's quite a big thing that took a while to come to the Division 1, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was a good 9 months, wasn't it?
It was the second paid for DLC, wasn't it? Survival. It was Underground
Yeah.
Survival, then Last Stand. So I could see it dropping in year 2. I'd like to think it was late year 1, just because it'd be awesome. You know, it was the best of the 3. Let's be honest. I don't know. I think we theorized about Survival in Division 2 before, haven't we? Like,
A lot.
It could be
A
underground.
lot.
It could be heat based. It could be poison based.
It could be flood based. Could be the DC 52. I can't remember what the substance is.
The poison type stuff.
I like
Go,
their
Rob, go.
idea of us starting in the dark zone and having to get back to the boo, because then you could start in one of the dark zones and then have to
Fight your way out.
fight your way out, and then
I think it's Mike who always says that he would like it to be only one agent gets out. And if you're not the first one out, that's it, game over.
Thank you. I still stand by that.
I do like that idea. It just, they would need to work it, the mechanics and that of it, so that it wasn't just run as fast as you can.
I think one of the biggest improvements would be randomized loot locations.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
That would be
That's a
probably
given, right?
Yeah, and judging by how that kind of happens already in the open beta, the fact that like there's loot boxes outside like safe areas and stuff like that in the Division 2, and you literally go back out there and it's like respawned, it seems like it's got the potential to happen. So we'll see. But I definitely still stand by that. Thing is, I kind of want one team to extract and that to be the end of it. But then it's kind of in the wording, if you know what I mean. Survival. That's how I've always played survival, is to survive as long as possible. So if they have like 2 instances, I'd quite like that. But whether we get that or not, I don't know. Just my thoughts. Anyone else?
No, we're done.
No, I'm done.
Thank you very much for your question. We actually had a message from Kevin Hopper over on our Facebook. He sent us a direct message, and he said, "Here's one for you boys to ponder if you haven't already. When I played the beta and watched the trailers, I tried to see hints and clues to what we could possibly expect to see. One thing I noticed was the character put on the map during the intro at the White House was holding a dual-wielding sheriff. I can't fucking talk now. Was a dual pistol wielding sheriff. Perhaps hopeful on my part, but the dual wield would be great and perhaps one of the new specializations. Imagine a situation getting too close for comfort and pulling out a pair of Desert Eagles and knocking them down. I agree with the minigun idea, but what if we take an LMG and make it mountable on a shield that we're carrying as well?"
Ooh.
Cheers, fellas.
LMG and a shield sounds a bit OP. I do like the dual-wielding pistol idea, though. I almost suggested that as one of my specialization picks when you two were asking for ideas on specializations, either the last episode or the episode before. I wasn't sure how dual-wielding pistols would work.
Mechanically.
Mechanically.
Because you wouldn't be able to ADS.
Exactly. Which would be quite annoying in the Division. But
Well, at least your character would just run around shouting, "Die, die, die."
I mean, that specialization would be great for
Luke
Rob,
does
because he could
anyway,
just
right?
fucking Leroy and just go bang, 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 bang.
Well, I was going to say,
Run back out
that'd be
again.
perfect for Rob, wouldn't it? That's why you liked Reaper so much. That's definitely a freaking awesome idea, though. And did we not talk about something like that within like the first year or two? Christ, we talked about so much. I can't
probably.
remember now, but I don't know if we'd ever see a mountable LMG on a shield, though. We haven't really seen much of shields in the Division 2, have we? We know there's a shield in the Division 2, but we haven't got like a mobile cover or anything this time, have we?
Well, no, we've seen...
Not that you know of.
We've seen the shield that you can put a gun through that has like the top missing.
Yep.
We've seen that.
Seen that.
So you essentially can do his idea anyway.
Yeah.
It being a specialization doesn't really fall in line with the ammo, like the way the ammo drops for specializations. Specializations have to be something that has very limited ammo, otherwise it's just overpowered.
That's a good point, actually. That completely rules out the dual pistol idea as well, doesn't it?
Well, not really, because something like if you've only got one mag of a pistol, or two mags because you've got dual wielding, that's not like a Desert Eagle doesn't have huge amount of ammo.
But not only that, they're specialized weapons, so they're like shit hot weapons for that role, if you know what I mean. So you could have a shit hot LMG for the specialization that then would fit on the shield. And as what we've seen work with the specializations is they're trying to pair certain skills together. It could work, but whether I could see it happening or not, I don't know. I think there's more chance we're going to get the minigun idea.
See, yeah. From all the hints and that from the trailers of last week or the week before, the minigun almost looks nailed on. But then Rob does raise a very good point about, the whole point of specializations and them being almost like a treat to use is that the ammo is quite rare for them. You need quite a lot of fucking ammo for a minigun.
Yeah, you do, but then the amount of rounds you're going to burn through.
Yeah, you can shoot them quickly, can't you? So like 100 rounds it's not going to be gone in a couple of seconds.
So it would basically mean you'd use your ammo really fucking quick.
Yeah,
so it would kind of tie it in line.
Yeah,
tie it in line with the other ones. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good point.
Thank you very much for the message, Kevin. And lastly, we have an email, guys.
What?
Yeah. We have
it
an
always
email.
Surprises me when someone sends us an email.
It's from Spectrum74.
Surprises me that people actually listen, to be honest.
I've said the email address every week.
You said it 148
times because I missed an episode.
How many of those 148 times do you think you've actually said it correctly?
Probably about 5. So that's why I'm surprised we get emails.
Wow, since you're so surprised, Rob, do you want to read this one?
Not really.
Well,
you're going to make me, aren't you? Son of a bitch. What's up, guys? Long-time listener, first-time emailer. Well, obviously. You're like our second email.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I hope you don't mind that this is more of an opinion than a question. Well, this is feedback then, I guess. So here goes. The past. I've been AFK from the Division since...
Wait. I'm sorry. I know you kind of get into character. Can you get into character a bit more and do like a bit of a voiceover? The past. Oh. Sorry.
Did you want to read it?
No.
Stop fucking criticizing me then. I've been AFK from the Division since several months after Last Stand arrived and never returned for 1.8. You didn't miss much, it's fine. Therefore, I missed out on the additional content which rewarded the more dedicated and patient section of the community. I was one of those agents who felt disappointed with the Year 2 announcement and discontinuation of the Season Pass model, and therefore reluctantly handed back my SHD badge to Fei Lao, and she ate it. After just over 840 enjoyable hours saving Manhattan, and moved on to other games. How dare you? The present. Is this like, Nope, I'll shut up. However...
I didn't say it.
I know. I was about to go off on a tangent and I stopped myself. However, like most retired SHD agents, I've been watching the Division 2 from the distance, creepy, with a keen eye, or should that be keener? Oh, God. Keener eye, and I'm interested to see how the episode format works out, which promises to drip feed regular content throughout Year 1. The future. I'm excited to be reactivated next month to a franchise which had me hooked for almost daily basis until mid-2017 and got me into looter-shooter genre, which was a stepping stone to playing Luke's other favorite game. I'm hoping that the Division 2 episodic model is substantial, which really delivers, and that the end game really is where the game begins and not ends. Why are you so happy, Mike? Scary. He's like, what? I will happily spend 3 years in DC, providing there is 3 years worth of content to keep me there. I wonder how many other returning agents feel the same. Keep up the good work, lads.
I guarantee there's quite a few returning agents that feel the same.
Did I say who that was? Oh, yeah, Spectrum 74. I must have missed that bit.
I really do, because, it really did take the more dedicated amongst us to keep playing the game for 3 years solid. So, I mean, fair play to disappearing and playing other games if that's what you felt you needed to do. So yeah, I agree. There'll be quite a few other returning agents that feel the same. However, it's great that you're excited that it's coming back in a few days. And yeah, I hope to see you in DC, dude.
I feel like this email might have been sent before the state of the game this week, right?
Yeah, it is a couple of weeks old, and that's basically on our behalf because the episodes are kind of overrun.
We
just don't have enough time.
emails.
No, we did check our emails. I keep an eye on the emails. I saw the email come through, but it's just kind of you want to give it the time it deserves. And
why did you make me read it then?
well, you dragged it out the most, so you gave it the most time.
I apologize, Spectrum. My reading is terrible.
But I definitely agree with you. I can understand what you mean by being disappointed with the year 2 announcement. I think even going into year 2 and 3, we were a bit more. Christ, year 3, to be honest, wasn't great if you think about it, boys. At all. I know we had like stuff to chase, but
yeah, we were playing Siege.
Yeah, that was the lucky thing. But for anybody,
the announcement for year 3 was actually better than year 2 because they kind of they messed up with year 2, didn't they? And they openly admit
yes, they
did.
Messed up, and I think that's really what fucked it up completely. Probably for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, I think partly they knew that they messed it up, and I mean, we've spoken about this many times before, but partly they realised they'd messed up, and partly I think they were very surprised by how invested the community was in the game. So when they said there's going to be no more of this, no more of that, and no more of whatever else, everybody was like, "Whoa,
what?
Dead
what
game? Question mark? Exclamation mark?
Yeah, we did.
Rage.
Well, we were like, what the fuck? Like, we thought, oh, we're going to get into the season pass. We're definitely going to get more content. We're going to get expansions and all the rest of it. Going to be honest, going to be interesting to see where we are in a year's time and our expectations in a year's time, because I really hope they've learned from the last 3 years, continue the episodes, because I don't want to see a repeat of years 2 and 3 of the Division 1. But that's my personal standing. If you enjoyed that content, 1.8 was great. We didn't think we were getting half the content that was in that update.
Yeah.
That was a lot of content to say we weren't supposed to get anything.
Do you think we're going to get to episode 300?
Yes. Easily.
Okay.
I expect year 2 to be quite substantial, to be honest. I've got a lot of... I know the game's not even out yet, and I'm already talking about year 2, but year 2 of Division 2, I think, will be somewhat epic. If they can give you this much stuff in Division 1 in Division 2 on day 1 for 40, 50, 60 quid, depending which version of the game you bought, fuck, even 100 quid. Year 2 is going to be huge.
I think my only worry is how the fuck are they going to be able to keep up the content, and the talks are already going on for the Division 3.
Oh, fuck yeah, they are.
So at some point it is going to peter off, isn't it?
This game, I'll be amazed if this game is not more of a commercial success than the first one.
It should be. I hope it is. If we get the content that we kind of deserve as fans and players of the game in years 2 and 3, and I know that's like jumping ahead because we haven't even seen what we've got from year 1 properly yet. We hadn't played it for ourselves, but it looks to be on track. That's all I'll say.
I've got a question for you, Mike. Is it the content we need rather than the content we deserve?
I think it's both. I think we're going to need the content, and be honest, as players of the Division 1, we deserve it. And I know you're taking the piss, but I'm being honest.
I was just quoting
We're
Batman.
not going to be wearing hockey pants, right?
I don't think I own any hockey pants. I'll buy some if it makes you happy.
Rachel?
Wow, that went off.
And everybody just turned off.
Anyway, thank you so much to everyone who sent in questions this week via Facebook, Discord, and email. Rob.
Yeah.
Where can the listeners find us?
You can find us over at SITREPRadio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. as well as our personal accounts. See any... what? That's not what it says. Why did I read that? Send any questions or feedback for the show to SITREPRadio@gmail.com. That's the email address I always say wrong. Or you can find us on Discord. The link will be in the show notes. I haven't even drunk this week.
You had coffee.
That's the problem, dude.
I just want to say, you read it as, if you see any questions and feedback for the show, make sure to send them in.
Oh my God. We want to hear your thoughts on the news and topics we cover, so be sure to leave a comment and join the discussion in any of those places. Luke?
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We really do enjoy reading all of them. The feedback is excellent, and at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our lovely little show. If you listen all the way to the very end of the show, you will hear all the juicy details about other awesome shows that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
Okay, so Luke just fell down a well. Anyway, we do live stream as often as we can. So if you are interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play The Division 2, lads, and some other games, though I'm pretty sure those other games are pretty much dead, and we're going to be playing The Division 2 constantly for the next 3 years.
Nailed it.
You can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREPRadio.
Or Mixer.
Or Mixer, because we're now on Mixer. So you can find
/SITREPRadio.
Find us over there as well. Lads,
Hello.
we have been SITREP Radio, and fuck me, The Division 2 is out in fucking
On the
less than a week.
The next episode, guys, we would have played at least 30 hours of the game.
30 hours.
I'm just going to remind you, Rob.
Well, I will.
I don't think you're going to have time to play 30 hours of the game.
Are you going to be available to
stop
record
me.
next week, Rob? Or are you going to be a Division whole?
No, that's going to be the shortest episode ever, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. Hi, guys. Division 2's out. Bye, guys.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Catch you late next week. Mike's looking at us like, no, we actually
No, I'm just kind of
have to
thinking,
say-
yeah, we'll just do the intro. Hey, welcome. I hope you've had a great week. Unfortunately, this episode's been pre-recorded, so bye.
Please
When
send
are we
all
gonna
messages and
pre-record it
feedback to
then? Tomorrow?
SITREPRadio@gmail.com.
Hey, we might have some issues to cover next week, so you never know. Anyway,
Ooh, low blow, dude. Low blow.
it's just gonna happen. You gotta.
Such
I
a
don't know.
negative Nelly.
No.
No, I'm
Where's your
optimistic
positivity,
as
dude?
fuck. I'm optimistic as fuck.
Optimus Prime.
I'm not saying it. I'm good. We have been SITREP Radio. Thank you so much for listening, agents. We so truly appreciate it, and we will catch you next week when the fucking Division 2 launches. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.